Hi, I'm Madame Pamita, and this is Madame Pamita's Parlor of Wonders. You can find me online at parlorofwonders.com. Well, today I'm going to be talking to you about what to do with the leftover candle wax after you've done a spell. If I have any question that I get asked more often than any other, it's probably, what do I do with my wax and remains and everything that's left over from my spell once it's over? I get that asked a lot. So I'm going to talk to you about some ways that you can work with that wax and what you can do with it. So depending on your spell, you may want to do different things with your wax. So for example, if you were doing a spell to bring something to you, you might want to keep that wax close to you. So once your candle spell is done, an option of what you could do would be to bury that wax in your front yard if you want something new to come in, or in your backyard if you want it to stay with you. Another option, if you don't have a front or backyard, is to bury that wax in a potted plant in your home. Another way you can work with the wax is by putting it in a crossroads. You can wrap it up and then go to an intersection, a quiet intersection. You don't want to be running out in traffic. And go to a quiet intersection where two roads meet and leave that packet of the wax in the center of the crossroads. Now you can do this for any kind of spell where you want to get rid of something, but you can also do this in spells where you want the message, let's say, to get out into the wider world. Maybe you want a new love to come into your life and you want to put it in all the four directions that beautiful love comes to you. So that can be another way to work with the remains of your candle spell. Certainly there's other ways to deal with wax. For example, if you're doing a banishing spell, you would want to get rid of it, dump it. You could take it to a crossroads, but you could also dump it in the trash. However, don't dump it in your own trash. Don't put it in your trash can inside. Don't put it in your outside trash can. Put it in someone else's trash. Get rid of it. Get it far, far away from you. Another way that you can work with your wax is to hold on to it in some way and keep it close to you in a different way other than burying it in your yard. If you're doing a love spell, for example, you may want to take those wax remains and then wrap them up in a cotton cloth or a bandana or a piece of flannel, and then put them between your mattress and your box spring, or you can put them in your underwear drawer, for example, to bring that love to you or to keep that love with you. Finally, there's another way that I love to work with wax remains in particular when I'm working with beeswax. Beeswax is a very powerful and very precious tool. Bees travel for 1 million trips to flowers to make 1 ounce of beeswax. And so it's very, very, very powerful, very beautiful. And sometimes when I'm working with beeswax remains, I want to hold on to that wax and do something special with it. And that's when I recommend softening the wax and molding it. And you can do that after your candle spell is done. Take that wax that you've worked so hard on with that candle spell and make something out of it. You could make a wax puppet, for example, or you could make a talisman of some sort. So what you'll need to do that is you'll need your leftover wax, and you'll need something to heat it up with. In this case, I have a heat gun, but you could use a hairdryer just as well to heat and soften that wax. If you're using a heat gun, you want to put it on the lowest setting. If you're using a hairdryer, maybe a medium setting. So I'm going to soften the wax by putting that heat gun heat on the wax just to make it a little bit soft. Now, once I've softened that wax up, I can mold it. If it's a hot day, you might not even need the hairdryer or the heat gun. And let's say I had used this pink candle for a love spell. I might want to make a talisman that I could then use in a mojo bag, for example, or to place on my love altar. So I could take that wax and with the warmth of my hands or with the help of a blow dryer or the heat gun, I can make it nice and soft. And then I can mold that into a heart shape, for example. So now I have a little heart-shaped talisman that I can use then on my altar. It's a way of keeping the energy of that candle spell going and using that beautiful, all the beautiful energy that you put into your candle spell again and again. You could carry it with you. You could even give it to someone as a gift. So if you soften it up and then you get it to a place where you like it, you can then put it in the fridge to harden it, or you can just leave it out. If it's a cool enough day, you'll have no problem. So that's another way that you can work with your beeswax candle wax after your candle spell is done. I'm Madame Pamita, and this is Madame Pamita's Parlor of Wonders. You can find me online, and I love you, at parlorofwonders.com.